We are playing for keeps, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say you should have, could have. Imagine hearing those exact words barked out at a rapid fire pace, cutting right through the crisp weekend air. Your heart is absolutely pounding, your palms are sweating, and literally the biggest financial decision of your life comes down to a split-second nod of your head. That, right there, is the raw, high-stakes reality of the real estate auction floor.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack the hidden machinery that makes those intense million-dollar moments possible. We so often just see the final hammer fall, but what we don't see is the meticulous, calculated system running behind the scenes. So today, we're deconstructing the secret sauce of real estate success. We'll be looking at the award-winning Fletchers agency and one of their absolute star architects of the auction floor, Jee Chin. By the end of this explainer, you are going to understand exactly how top-tier real estate actually operates. Here's our quick roadmap for today. Number 1, the high-stakes auction floor. 2, the architect, Jee Chin. 3, the Fletchers Powerhouse Network. 4, mastering the market reach. And finally, number 5, the winning sales blueprint. Let's start with section 1, the high-stakes auction floor. So let's step right into the arena where all that preparation meets reality. In one of Jee Chin's actual auctions, bids rocketed from $1.1 million all the way up to $1.28 million in a matter of seconds. Seriously, seconds. And this was with multiple buyers fiercely competing. But what's really interesting here is what those numbers represent emotionally. In this complete pressure cooker atmosphere, raw human emotion, specifically the fear of missing out, right, collides with massive financial commitments. When the auctioneer warns you not to say you should have, could have, they're intentionally leveraging that exact psychology to drive the absolute premium price for the seller. Moving on to section 2, the architect, Jee Chin. That kind of chaos on the auction floor doesn't just spontaneously happen. It has to be masterfully orchestrated. Meet Jee Chin, a licensed estate agent and auctioneer. Now, the absolute crucial point here is that you aren't just hiring a salesperson, you're hiring a seasoned strategist. The guy has over 20 years of experience and holds the prestigious Rate My Agent trusted badge for his performance and transparency. But a major factor in his effectiveness? He's multilingual, fluent in Chinese, Malay, and English. In the highly diverse eastern suburbs of Melbourne, this allows him to seamlessly bridge cultural and language barriers, ensuring literally no buyer is left out of the bidding war. Oh, and it's definitely no coincidence that he's a keen chess player. Every single move on that auction floor is calculated several steps ahead. Section 3, the Fletchers Powerhouse Network. But here's the thing. Even the most brilliant agent out there doesn't operate in a vacuum. 349,620 plus contacts. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's their buyer database. When you list a property with an agency like Fletchers, you aren't just crossing your fingers and hoping someone happens to walk past a signboard out front. No, you are immediately plugging your asset into a state-of-the-art marketing system that can actively reach hundreds of thousands of potential buyers before the very first open house even happens. And that massive digital dominance, it's heavily backed by physical dominance. Fletchers has established a really formidable presence with modern, strategically located storefronts. They operate on this core philosophy that absolutely nothing replaces the power of a referral. Because these offices are so deeply connected, team members can seamlessly refer buyers who maybe missed out on one property directly to the next one. In fact, their data shows that roughly 26% of their sales are generated using this internal referral strategy alone. That's huge. We're talking about massive scale here. 25 offices spanning all across Melbourne, Bellarine, and the Mornington Peninsulas. They're moving over 2,500 homes a year and managing 4,000 more. Plus, they have an army of over 250 staff members, including more than 40 who are bilingual or multilingual. This perfectly contrasts the highly emotional, very human element of the auction we saw earlier with the cold, hard operational efficiency required to consistently dominate an entire real estate market. Which brings us to section 4, mastering the market reach. So they've got the people and they've got that massive database. But how do they actually effectively activate them? Well, Fletchers employs a highly sophisticated omni-channel approach. First up, their digital game spans 8 different websites. The key advantage here is their artificial intelligence ad serving platform. This AI optimizes campaigns on a daily basis, meaning it targets the exact right audience and completely eliminates marketing wastage. Then they blend this cutting-edge tech with traditional print, distributing over 4,000 copies of their Places magazine every single week. And finally, they hit their database directly with a weekly e-bulletin going out to over 15,000 active subscribers. They literally leave no stone unturned.
And to target niche, high-value markets, they use dedicated placements in publications like The Chinese Age. Now, when you pair this highly tailored, culturally specific marketing material with an agent like Jee Chin, who, remember, can personally negotiate in multiple languages, you create a totally seamless pipeline. It captures lucrative international and local buyers who might otherwise easily slip through the cracks of a standard English-only campaign.
Finally, Section 5, the winning sales blueprint. We've seen the sheer scale and the marketing, but how does this massive machine actually guide an individual real-life seller through the journey? Fletchers cuts through the immense stress and anxiety of selling a home by focusing on 4 critical questions. Let's walk through them together. The blueprint they use is beautifully transparent. Step 1, price. It's about establishing an honest, market-driven valuation. Step 2, why us? Proving the undeniable value of their network, which we've just spent time exploring. Step 3, method. Choosing the best strategic avenue for the sale. And Step 4, marketing and fees. Laying out the exact costs with absolutely zero hidden surprises. Now, why does this matter for you? Because this level of upfront transparency is the bedrock foundation of absolute trust between the agent and the seller. Let's look a little closer at that method step, because there's a critical strategic difference that agents like Jee Chin explain to their sellers. In a private sale, buyers will often attach conditions, like making the offer subject to finance, and they get a 3-day cooling-off period where they can just back out. But look at the auction method. There is zero cooling-off period 3 business days before and after an auction. When that hammer falls, it is absolutely unconditional. This is exactly why auctions are such a powerful tool for locking in a definitive, highly secure result for the seller. And honestly, what happens when you combine an elite agent, a database of nearly 350,000 contacts, AI-driven marketing, and a fully transparent sales blueprint? Well, Fletcher's Blackburn completely sweeps the board. They were crowned the 2024 Rate My Agent Agency of the Year across multiple suburbs, including Blackburn, Box Hill, and Mitcham. This right here is the ultimate industry recognition of their incredibly meticulous process. But beyond all the shiny awards, the real proof is always in the client experience. One recent client noted he's engaged a lot with all of the people, kept them on the hook for us, led to a really good result for us on auction day. That phrase, kept them on the hook, it just perfectly summarizes everything we've talked about today. It's the strategic follow-up, the multilingual negotiation, and the absolute mastery of the buyer database, all coming together perfectly to deliver when it counts on game day. Which brings us right back to where we started. We have deconstructed the sheer power of the Fletchers network and the strategic brilliance of agents like Jee Chin. You now understand the hidden, high-level mechanics that drive those million-dollar auction results. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to consider. When it comes time to put your biggest financial asset on the line, are you ready to play for keeps? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did.